Well, members of Parliament recently returned from their summer break and immediately found themselves busy addressing one of the biggest economic issues in this country, affordability. The federal Liberal government recently announced several measures to rein in rising housing and grocery costs, including removing GST on rentals to incentivize new development. The Conservatives, meanwhile, have proposed tying federal funding to the number of housing starts. They've also floated the idea of selling off 15% of federal properties so the land can be converted to build affordable homes. Meanwhile, the NDP has made a few pitches of its own, including doubling the home buyers tax credit and putting a 20% foreign buyers tax in place. To dive deeper into all these policies, which certainly, when it comes to the underlying issues, are showing up in the poll numbers, let's talk to Nik Nanos. He's founder and chief data scientist at Nanos Research. Nik, on this issue of housing and obviously the inflation factors as well, how are we seeing this show up in the polls right now?
Well, what we're seeing is a ramp up of focus on inflation and worry about the rising cost of housing. Think of it this way, John. The environment's no longer the top issue of concern. Healthcare is not a top issue of concern. It's all coming down to inflation and the rising cost of housing. It explains why all the major federal parties are kind of piling on to try to do something on this because, Canadians feel squeezed, whether they're paying for the rent and trying to find an affordable place to live or paying for the mortgage. They're feeling the pressure of this market, and they're looking to federal parties and federal party leaders for something as a solution, short-term and long-term.
Are you able to measure how messages from these various parties are sitting with Canadians? We referenced some of the different areas of focus from each party, for example.
Yeah, well, what we do know is that when we look at this messaging, that there's a significant proportion of Canadians that don't trust any of the federal parties to do anything on housing that would have an impact. So we have to remember, John, there's a lot of cynicism out there. So many times Canadians hear these proposed solutions, they sound good, but it doesn't have an impact on them, or it doesn't have the intended impact. And I think that's the kicker right now when we're looking at political leaders talking about solutions on the housing front.
Well, you measure consumer sentiment, and I would imagine if Canadians felt like the message on affordability was getting through to them and there were signs of progress on that front, they would feel more confident as consumers. What does the data tell you right now?
Not so much confidence. It's very tepid. What we're seeing is a score at around 50 points on the 100-point index scale, which means that it's neutral. When we ask Canadians whether they're better or worse off than they were a year ago, almost half of Canadians say that they're worse off, while only 17% say that they're better off. And the other thing that's critical, we talk about the rising cost of housing and affordability. Canadians are much more likely to think that the value of real estate will go up. The prices will go up in the next 6 months, about 45%. Only about 14% think that it's going to decrease. So right now, Canadians are much more likely to report that they're worse off than a year ago, and they're looking at the cost of housing, the value of real estate, and they think that it's still going to go up in the next 6 months.
So how do you think this is ultimately going to impact or the economic reality that you're seeing through this polling? How's that going to impact more policy or announcements or even debate in Ottawa over these issues?
I think it's quite likely, John, that this is going to be the defining issue of the next federal election. In the last federal election, if you recall, there was a focus for a couple of weeks on homelessness and housing. Well, now it's not about homelessness, because homelessness still is an issue. Now it's just paying for the rent and paying for the mortgage. And there's going to be a focus on interest rates and the Bank of Canada and what its interest rate policy is going to be. You don't want to be an incumbent government, if consumer confidence is weak, if the economy is flat and Canadians are struggling to pay the bills, because that's just a recipe for a world of pain if you happen to be the government in power.